City News on TV Rotorua is proudly brought to you by Rotorua Central.
Good evening, Rotorua. Tonight on City News. The popular Music at the Band Rotunda series begins on Sunday. We have tickets to give away to next week's Opportunity Daytime concert, and local schools look forward to visits next week from Vodafone Warriors players. But first, final touches to costume and details on the set are being finalised ahead of the premiere of the Rotorua Musical Society's production of Mamma Mia. Production manager Natasha Benfill says the worldwide hit based on the music of ABBA opens here next week, with audiences in for an amazing performance from local talent.
I am so excited, I really am, and the cast, one of the ladies was down here the other day and she almost burst into tears because we've been rehearsing at Casablanca, which is quite a small set compared to this, and it doesn't have obviously all the set. And to come down here, you actually feel like you're in Mamma Mia for the first time. So it's going to be interesting tonight. I think emotions will be running high, and yeah, it's just going to be so exciting.
Absolutely, because even walking in here, just the grand scale, it wasn't until, I don't think our locals are going to comprehend, so it wasn't until I walked into the room and felt the presence of the stage. I'm like, I've seen that on TV. That's exactly how it looks on TV.
It's an amazing set, it really is, even down to the detail of the tree and things like that. So Rotorua is in for a treat. So I hope they do, come out and get behind us, because doing that allows us to then continue to have things like Mamma Mia and Rotorua. It's very important.
Locals are being encouraged to take advantage of and to enjoy the free performances from local musicians at the Band Rotunda in the Government Gardens. From Sunday, jazz, blues, acoustic guitar, choral, brass, highland pipes and ukulele will all get to entertain at the popular event. Performances run every Sunday until the 22nd of March and start at 1 p.m. Take a picnic and a rug and enjoy some great local music in a wonderful setting. And the Opportunity Daytime concert is on next week with their 2015 concert season opener, The Big Band Era. The show features icons like Glenn Miller and Henry Mancini, and greats such as Ella Fitzgerald, Duke Ellington, Louis Armstrong and Billie Holiday. The cast includes Elizabeth Harris, who completed a Master of Musical Arts in Classical Voice with distinction and placed second in the prestigious De Malvina Major Foundation aria in Wellington. The Big Band Era is on next Tuesday at the Baptist Church starting at 11 a.m. And we have a prize pack to get you along to the show. Like us on Facebook and look out for our opportunity post to be in to win. In sport tonight, the Vodafone Warriors take on the Penrith Panthers at the International Stadium next week as part of a festival of rugby league planned for the city. The team will be in town on Thursday ahead of the Saturday game to run workshops in schools and to promote the game in Rotorua. Te Wairiki Puria Trust Coordinator Maylene Morotti says the events with the Warriors are a joint project with the team, the Trust and the Youth Centre.
The Warriors versus the Panthers game coming up. That's February the 14th, and so we're doing a Warriors promotion piritahi in the schools where we've got 12 schools on board, 45-minute window. We've got 2 Warriors that will come in, plus Ruben Wiki. He'll take a training session and we'll look at some interactive activities with the Warriors, with the kids, signings, role modelling, superstars and things like that. So that starts next week. We're going into the schools, and we've got to cluster the schools because there's 12 schools on board ranging from primary up to high school. So we've kind of got 6 host schools and then trying to get all the schools to come there. So at the moment we're still waiting for the schedule so that we can contact the schools with exact times to go in there and just promote the game, promote well-being, promote rangatahi leadership, and all those things. So we're working alongside the youth centre with that as well. So so there's just some of the things that are coming up.
To your weather update now. Tonight, fine spells with westerlies and an overnight low of 12. Tomorrow, Friday, fine spells and a few showers, gusty southwesterlies, a high of 21 and a low of 7. And looking out to Saturday, fine with light winds, a high of 22 and a low of 9. The marine forecast for Lake Rotorua for Waitangi Day, southwest 25 knots easing, with waves rising to half a metre and then easing, with a few showers. If you'd like to catch up on City News, you can find us on YouTube. Just search City News Rotorua and you can see headline updates on our TV Rotorua Facebook page.
Kia ora everybody, welcome back to City News. Well, I'm at Whakarewarewa village now, a beautiful place, world renowned for Māori culture and geothermal activity, and an alive and thriving Māori village. I'm joined now by one of the senior guides, Ringa Horahuata, who's going to talk to me a little bit about what's been happening here at Whakarewarewa for the summer, and also what's coming up, a few really wonderful events, and particularly Waitangi. So kia ora Ringa Hora.
Kia ora.
So tell me a little bit about, first of all, your background here. How do you tie to this place?
Well, fortunately for myself, my mother is from here, born and raised upon this geothermal field. What I like to say on behalf for everyone that born and raised upon this geothermal field is that, one, we can always say we're born into tourism, raised in tourism, working and living in tourism. So it's not a bad lifestyle.
Not a bad lifestyle. Born into tourism, what are your early memories of a little girl here? With what was happening?
Well, the hub of activity of watching your aunties, your grand-aunties, taking guided tours, as well as yourself personally jumping in the river and becoming a penny diver. Yeah, not a bad lifestyle.
So penny diving, having memories of going penny diving, obviously the children have grown up reasonably financially literate. You know, they're getting a bit of coin in their pocket. Do you remember making a lot of money when you were a kid doing that?
Well, what I thought was a lot of money, the 50-cent piece, the 20-cent piece, but of course the currency change has been quite dramatic. You go into an area of, as children, you help your other siblings. If you have a parent, if you're in a single parent family, the opportunity to service yourself in school fees, school excursions, school uniforms, and for some of our children we just do it today anyway.
Wow.
Because there is some stuff that may be outside of jurisdiction that, well, I do want it.
Yeah. Wow, so actually it's helping with the education as well. So right from
Very good at counting.
Oh yeah, I could be good at counting if I had more to count. So tell me a little bit about what is happening over the next few kind of months here at Whakarewarewa.
Well, just in the next couple of days we're going to be celebrating Waitangi Day. The whole event is all about being Māori. Māori culture, Māori wearable arts, highlighting all different kapahaka forums. We have coming in on Friday three of the 6 that are hosting or going through to Te Matatini 2015. We also have the opportunity to highlight our rangatahi through primary and intermediate that are going through to Palmerston North for competitions as well.
Wow, so it's going to be a hive of activity here.
Absolutely. For many of us, we would say never a dull moment in paradise.
Nice. Tell me about the kai. Is there going to be kai here?
Yes, we will be hosting a variety of kai from our own indigenous. Many of us like that odd fried bread.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yep, maybe the boil-ups, who knows. Every area is pinpointed for any nationality to try and experience.
Oh wow, really? So,
yes. So we still today, just on that particular day, we have a hub of activity. We're expecting a flurry. We've got 2 ships docking on Friday. We have our own visitors coming through here in general, the general public here in Rotorua and around circumference. So it's an area of where people can mix and mingle and learn a bit about something that they may not or always wanted to know but never had an opportunity.
And for those that are coming here to learn something about the meaning of Waitangi, what is that? What are they going to feel when they come here?
Well, when we talk about it, we talk about the hope, the experience, and more, and importantly, the aroha and the awhi. Yeah, whanaungatanga is top on the list.
So speaking of whanaungatanga, the kids going to be out penny diving, making some money?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If it's a beautiful day, mind you, even if there's a slight drizzle, you'll still see the children playing, having fun. The beauty about our children coming into penny dive, 1, yes, they can make them a little bit of money. 2, they get to mix and mingle with their cousins. And 3, it's all about family.
So you've also got some wearable arts happening here.
Yes, we're very lucky that we have local artists that are able to donate all their pieces in to be highlighted in a catwalk just outside our wharenui, Wahio, at around about 2:30 in the afternoon, where everybody is able to just sit, relax, enjoy themselves and see all the different makes, from iti gifts to, there's just a vast area. Some of the aunties and uncles, aunties more so from Te Puia, and of course my mum wants to, I'm trying to con her into doing that, of course.
Oh, we'll all try and con Mum into doing that, Mum.
Yeah, so it's a highlight for the day. The whole day is all about being Māori, participating, interacting, and you know, the best place about it, where can you do it better than in our home?
There we go. If you would like somewhere special to be this Waitangi weekend, then come down to Whakanuia at Whakarewarewa and enjoy some legendary local hospitality. Kia ora.
You know, folks, we often say that we live in a beautiful city and we need to take pride in it. It's a beautiful place to live, whether you're a young person or an older person. But one of the aspects that has really come through over the Christmas and New Year holidays is the very, I guess, addressable subject of security, personal security, being safe in our own homes. And that's where Bruce Quedley, who heads up the neighbourhood support group here in Rotorua, comes in with a very important job. Bruce, it hasn't been a very good start to the year. Been a couple of fairly serious occasions where elderly people have been targeted specifically. Fortunately, no one's been hurt, but there's been, I guess, an invasion of people's privacy, an invasion of people's homes. And we often hear the fact that when someone is burgled or someone is confronted at the door or whatever, it is a violation. So how serious a problem have we got?
Well, particularly over this period of January and back into December, there have been a number of instances of this, of people coming to the door and knocking, either asking for a person or saying they're trying to find a missing dog. And in one case they asked for some string so they could, when they catch the dog, they could tie it up, and the person went off to get the string, and when they came back the person was still there, so they gave them the string and they left. But after they've had a look around a while in their house, they found that their wallet had gone. And that wasn't just by the door, it was inside the house.
So what these people are coming up with quite often is a fairly plausible and believable story.
That's right, and the big problem is the elderly people, I don't say they're gullible, but they're compassionate for the person, they want to help out the person. And they go and try and find what they're asking for. My advice would be, quite simply, if you want to do that, don't leave the door open for the person. Say, I'll open the door when I come back.
And I'll be back shortly.
That's right.
Yeah, sure.
But otherwise, if the person they're looking for is not there, say they're not there and thank you very much. If the person becomes persistent, I'd suggest just closing the door, ringing the police immediately.
Interesting you bringing up the police, because I know you work very closely. You're actually based here at the new police station. You work very closely with the police, and you are able to advise in your role. You're able to advise people what to do, like you just have. But I guess one of the things, particularly for older people, to recognise is that they're not to confront or not to try and take on these people thinking that they can.
That's correct. It's not advisable. And we have one case of a very elderly gentleman who a person forced their way into the house, and that person was frightened in that. One thing that that person could have done is they had a St John's or a Red Cross medical alert button around their neck. They could have pushed that. We've been advised by particularly the St John's people that if they receive an emergency thing, they'll come to it.
They'll be there.
They'll be there, and that's help on the way, even if the person can't get to the phone.
Sure. How frustrating is it for someone like yourself who's really, I guess, trying to network people together to look after their neighbour and look after their neighbourhood? How frustrating is this type of thing for you?
Oh, it is frustrating, but when you look at what happened, particularly with the elderly people, they're doing what they've done for years. They want to help people. And unfortunately, the situation today is people are targeting them for that. And as a result, they're being ripped off with items being taken from their house, either close by the door or when they go looking for something further into the house. So yes, it is frustrating in that regard. I don't want to see our elderly residents being targeted. I want to see them protected. I'd like to see that their neighbours look after the elderly who live in their neighbourhoods.
Raises the point too, obviously around the city and around the various suburbs that we have, there are groups who do just that. They are neighbourhood watch type people. This is ongoing for you to set these networks up?
Yes, we've got approximately 530 groups in the Rotorua area.
Which is pretty good, really.
It is. It's a coverage of around 37% of the households, but there are still many gaps. But we also need the groups that are established to be effective as well, of looking out for each other, so that if somebody needs help, there's somebody close at hand. Because what happens is when something does happen, family isn't always close at hand, and the people who are closest are your neighbours. And if we can know who our neighbours are, speak with them, and they get to know you, not to be busybodies, not to poke their noses into other people's business.
It's to support one another.
It's a support and to be a safety factor in living in the suburbs.
Appreciate the work that you do, and I think it's fair to say that you are accessible here at the police station.
Certainly.
If people have any queries or want to know how they can best secure not only themselves, as you say, but their next door neighbour and their neighbourhood.
Certainly.
Well.
They can give me a call on 349 9470. We have an answer phone on that. I'm not there all the time. Leave a message and clearly state your number, and I'll get back to you. If I can help, I'll try.
Well, there it is. There's no real reason why you can't be secure. There are ways and methods to do so, but it is a matter of diligence and common sense with regard to locks and windows and doors and things like that as well. So thank you for your time and keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
It's always good to see New Zealand's locally owned and operated businesses doing well in our New Zealand marketplace. Naked Bus was launched in October 2006, bringing low-cost airline travel concepts to our New Zealand roads. Let me introduce you to the man himself, the CEO of the company, Hamish Nuttall. Thank you so much for joining us, Hamish.
My pleasure.
So Hamish, why the name? Why Naked Bus?
Well, there's two reasons for that. The first is that naked describes what we do, which is stripping the cost of travels. We started with very low cost fares and we've kept them until this day. The second is that we wanted a name that people would remember. And naked is a bit cheeky, but once you've heard it, Naked Bus, you're not going to forget it.
How has it been growing your business in the New Zealand economy?
Well, our business has been growing very fast. And over the last few years, it's been growing at about 25% per year, which is excellent. And I think that's down to our low prices, which people find very attractive. So, you know, in times of recession and so on, people look for the lower cost options, and we are that option.
What are the services that you provide?
Well, Naked Bus provides services nationwide in both islands. From Rotorua, we have services to Hamilton and Auckland, Tauranga, and south to Taupo, Napier, Hawke's Bay, and Palmerston North and Wellington. And we have several buses a day to most of these locations.
So how long have you been running your services in our region?
Well, actually, our Auckland to Rotorua service was our first ever service, and that started in October 2006. So we've been running for slightly over 8 years.
So tell me, who are your current customers using your services?
Well, we have a very wide range of customers, from 8-year-olds to 80-year-olds. A lot of our customers are students and other people visiting friends and family. So about 80% of our customers are Kiwi commuters. 20% and a growing number are foreign travellers, backpackers and so on, who are visiting New Zealand.
So how does Naked Bus compare with your competitors?
Well, we have a nationwide network, and we're one of 2 companies that does that. So we serve over 320 locations. We're obviously a very low-cost brand. There are other companies that provide low-cost services as well. So I think we're all competing in the marketplace.
What can travellers expect?
I think obviously people want a safe and reliable service, and I think that's a given for everybody. They want to travel in comfort, and they want the driver to be friendly. I think those are the key things.
How will the current price reductions benefit our locals?
Well, we've got some really sharp reductions at the moment. So we've got a number of tickets on most of our buses in the Bay of Plenty region and other regions that are $2, $3 and $4. So our normal prices are maybe $10 more than that. So we've really cut the prices, particularly for short distance travel. So if you're in Rotorua and you want to travel to Hamilton or Tauranga for the day, you can do that for maybe $5 or $6 return.
So was that the key focus for your branding and marketing within the New Zealand economy?
Yes, the focus was always on the low cost, so that people would be able to travel more often and we'd be able to fill up our buses. And that's a sort of virtuous cycle, if you like. The fuller our buses, the less amount of money we need to charge, which means that more people travel and it goes on.
Are you happy with your company's growth thus far?
As I say, we've been growing about 25% a year, which is we think is excellent. We've got about 40% share of the market in New Zealand, and obviously we want to keep on growing that. But our customer feedback is excellent, and we see growth continuing into the future.
So look, I hear you have some great deals at the moment. Can you tell us what they are?
Absolutely. So particularly for short distance travellers, people who want to travel from Hamilton to Rotorua or Rotorua to Tauranga, we've got some very cheap fares averaging $4 or $5. So that enables people to travel more, maybe make trips that they wouldn't have made to visit relatives and make day trips and so on. So we just want to encourage people to travel more.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Hamish. I was absolutely delighted to see your customers coming up to you and giving you some really good feedback about how they enjoyed your services and how they enjoyed the great price, and even a lady from China saying that she will go home and recommend your service for travelling around Rotorua. So thank you so much for having us.
It's actually been very enjoyable being here, and I don't get to meet the customers enough, and it's good to see when they actually appreciate what we're doing, which is trying to give people very low travel prices.
Thank you so much.
That was Naked Bus Chief Executive Hamish Nuttall talking with Melanie Groves. If you'd like to contact us here at City News, phone 07 3488 984. Thanks for joining us tonight. From all the team here at City News, for Maria.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
City News on TV Rotorua was proudly brought to you by Rotorua Central.